What's going on, folks? Today we're talking about a new way that USCIS is waiving interviews. This is specific to adjustment of status cases. Friends, welcome to Green Card Guys TV. I'm your host, John Ting. I'm practicing immigration law all across the world and in the United States, in Houston, Texas, helping you solve your immigration problem and maybe even preventing it from happening in the first place. Okay. So just want to point you on the right direction the best I can. Just some housekeeping to share some information. We do offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion. Consider like a mini strategy session. 15 minutes now is no cost to you, but it's not automatic for everyone. So I apologize. We get slammed with a lot of requests. So if we believe there's a specific way we can help you, typically we'll set it. Our cares team will set it up for consultation and help you out there. But there's also other ways that our team are able to help you, and that's emailing you a free guide, also no cost to you. Now, some of them are available on our website at greencardguys.com. You can go there, check it out. Let's see if I can share a little photo here of what it looks like for y'all. Okay, so right here on Facebook and YouTube, you can see we have several guides. You go to greencardguys.com, scroll to the bottom. But yeah, mandamus, suing for legal status, is a common one. Now, if you're on Instagram, you can't see this, unfortunately, but that kind of give you an idea. All right. Now, to contact us, you can go to our website. There's a contact form. Just a few questions if you don't mind answering those. And typically, our cares team will call people within 24 hours of the next business day, or maybe even the same day, if we can. Now, otherwise, if you're available, give us a call. Don't even worry about the form. Just give us a call. And it's right here. I'm trying to figure out which hand to use. Right up here on YouTube and Facebook, 720-740-4247. If you've called us before and we call you back in a different number, apologies in advance. We just have different numbers to know where folks are calling from. So it helps us in that way, okay? So not to throw you off too much. Hey, Wes, good evening to you. All right. Wherever you live in the world, because right now in Texas, it is 12:06 p.m. All right, so today's topic, a new wave. I guess I could say new wave. That's what I was thinking to say. A new wave, a new trend that USCIS is having with adjustment of status cases. But let me take a step back here. In general, USCIS is trying to speed up cases. It now allows premium processing for many case types, but still only with employment-based cases. So if you're an employer or you're an employee, or even going through a self-petition, you can file for premium processing, or even for what's it called? National interest waiver, e-visa, investor visa. So that is possible. Which, by the way, the e-visa is typically called investor visa, but another way to think of it is like a startup business, or you already have an existing business but you want to expand. That's one way you can think of it, or creating. So you can just in general just call it a business visa. So most people think that, investor means like you have to invest a substantial amount of money. No, that's not the case, but we'll save that for a different show. So again, back to the USCIS waiving interviews. It's a wonderful, wonderful trend. Now, this is for adjustment of status cases. And typically we've seen this for, of course, most of our clients related to family-based is a spouse marriage case to a U.S. citizen. So yeah, that's what's going on here. It's now May. So for us, it's been starting since early January 2023. And it's been going as now May. So it's been 5 months, and it holds true. Fortunately, yeah, we just had an interview yesterday, but it was not for adjustment of status. It was for naturalization to become a citizen. But yeah, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I presented attended a client's interview. And that one had an interview for adjustment of status to a U.S. citizen spouse, because there's a prior marriage involved where they filed an application as well. So, but other than that, if it's a less, essentially no red flags, then they will, from what I've seen, and again, it's not automatic for you just because I'm saying this, but at least the way with our proven checklist and our process, our quality control, um, I believe it's been helping our clients. So they don't even have to attend the interview. Now, I think it's wild. I think it's great, but I do think it's pretty amazing. But I'm not sure how the government can tell, what they can tell if it's truly legitimate or not. Now, fortunately, knock on wood, all our clients are legit. It's genuine marriage. But I'm just imagining other scenarios where maybe there's a few bad apples that pass through, and then because of those bad apples, the government gets rid of this trend, and we don't want that, right? We want to keep it going for the trend of waiving interviews. So that kind of give you that. But there's so many other tips I can happy to share right now. Is make sure you get a joint bank account. Okay, please do that. Okay, there's some of y'all. I was just watching this Netflix show yesterday about I think they call it "How to Get Rich" or something. Have a rich life. How to have a rich life, and it's basically not a typical financial advisor, but he was asking questions kind of similar to that we would ask. Would you consider having a joint bank account? Some people said no because they don't trust each other. So aside from USCIS wanting to see a commingling of funds, meaning money is being passed through with each other, that essentially any person, any spouse in this relationship, if they wanted to, they could withdraw the money. And of course, hopefully they don't do that, but they have the authority, permission to do that, legal permission. And so basically, at the end of the day, the government wants to know that you trust the spouse to do that, right? That you've given them access, or vice versa. It doesn't have to be that you have to create a new bank account. Okay, it can be an existing account, and it only requires one. Fortunately, USCIS doesn't say, "Oh, we have to see every single bank account." No, it's just one that's joint. Okay, so if you want the best possible scenario for you, don't be afraid to have a joint account, a shared account. Now, maybe you say, I only want a savings account shared together. That's fine. But you want to make sure whatever account you have together, that you're actually using it. Just a simple fact of having it shared together, and you send in one piece of paper showing that has both names on it, that's not going to be good enough, right? It's going to be, in general, going to be sufficient for now for filing. But ultimately, if you are just now adding one other spouse to the account, I'd wait a couple months if you can, especially if your goal is to avoid having an interview. Maybe it's not because you're avoiding interview because you're just afraid that you can't control what's going to come out of your mouth, but maybe because you each live in a different city or something. So just traveling, y'all like to travel or something. So maybe it's just difficult for logistics reasons. But either way, I know a lot of y'all are so excited to get that work permit, to get that AP, advanced parole for travel permission, or you just want the green card, residence status. I get it. But that's part of our quality control that we have to slow clients down. We're not slowing down our process, okay? Once someone authorizes us to help them, we call the same day, onboard the same day, get going, okay? We share a Dropbox folder, share it with contains a checklist, SMA step-by-step timeline. But we review what you currently have. We give suggestions. And yes, some clients push back, but ultimately we've noticed every time we stuck our ground, clients have been approved, but not just approved, but with the recent trend, the interview was waived. So especially when clients, even if clients, live in Austin, Texas, they don't have a field office in Austin, Texas, so they got to go to San Antonio, right? So it's saving a trip, all right? So for us, the way our law firm looks at it, we're looking straight approval, reduce RFE. That's part of our quality control. We can't control it, right? Sometimes USCIS will ask for evidence that we already provided. I know it's annoying, but that's been happening sometimes. It's rare, but it does happen. Now, I do see some comments any questions, so I'll get to that soon. Just want to wrap up some tips. Now, I can't go through every single tip here on how to best able to get a case waived, but these are some tips that can help you, okay? Now, another thing is, now if you're doing this on your own, so I was saying about waiting a couple months is for the purpose of getting a couple statements. Now, I'm not saying you got to deposit like 2,500, 5,000 at a time, but you have to have money going in and out. All right. So the government wants to see a bank statement to see transaction activity, right? So people ask me, do I have to provide every single bill? Do the bills have to be joined? Now, ever since I've been married, before I always said, oh, the bills have both names, right? I don't know, I just did that, but I mean, have both names, okay? But I know that's difficult, depends on the utility vendor, cable, Netflix, whatever. So at least in that one account, whether you use a debit card or not, or let's say it's a credit card, right? If you use one of those accounts for most of your expenses, have it on that one account. I know a lot of people, you divvy it up in so many different accounts. Just try to keep it on one for the purpose so that when you provide that statement, to credit card statement and bank statement to the in the file, it reduces how much paperwork you have to provide. Okay, so hopefully, I think that's a huge tip, because otherwise, in the past, it was like this big stack of paperwork. That's it. Look, we try to make it easy, not just for clients, but also for USCIS interviewing, or at this point, reviewing officers, those that review the case files and determine if the case is going to be waived interview or not. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Happy to go in more detail later on. Let's see here. Okay, so now some questions. Okay, Mishka Cooper, am I seeing I-130CR interviews being waived? No, that's, as far as I know, that's not happening. That'd be great. So I apologize, but when I mentioned adjustment of status, hey, by the way, but Mishka Cooper, if you do hear about that in general, let me know. But at least our clients haven't been waived for consular processing cases, okay? But yeah, what I mean by adjustment of status, so that is if people are in the United States currently. But as soon as I hear about waived interview abroad, I do remember checking that a couple months ago, and it was still not that, but I could be wrong. Let me know. Okay, Wes Charles, you're saying that you went to an interview. They updated your case to say actively reviewing your form 485. Okay. Oh, after you went to the interview. And now you're asking, does that mean they take longer to make a decision on your case? Wes, Charles, I remember you've commented before, you've joined the show before, but I don't exactly remember if there's like a spouse case or parent-child case. But typically, yeah, and whatever I say right now, that doesn't mean that your situation's like worse or something. Okay, so please don't take it like that. But typically, after, I hate to use the word typically, because everyone has a different situation, right? But most of our clients, okay, if there's an interview and after the interview, it can be approved on average in less than 1 week. Sometimes the system might update online to show we mailed you a notice or something like that. So that's great, right? But there are a couple clients where it still shows interview scheduled, even though there was already an interview like 2 years ago, right? So hopefully you're not in that situation. If it says actively reviewing after an interview, maybe the case file went up to supervisor to do like a double verification or review, because it typically doesn't go to supervisor before the interview. If anything, it would be after the interview. Okay, so hopefully that helps, Wes, to give you a little bit more context. Now, the thing is, though, did you receive any kind of request for evidence during the interview? Because that's what happened with one of my clients 2 or 3 weeks ago, which they needed to update their medical exam. It was before the COVID vaccine was required on a medical exam. It was like literally 2 weeks before that rule was effective. So that could, that's one example why it could be on a delay there in that part. Let's see. Okay. I think so. USCIS is waiving interviews. If you're just now joining, we do offer free 15 minutes mini strategy session. Okay, you consider it like that. It really just points you in the right direction. Maybe help you solve your immigration problem in that 15 minutes, or maybe share some tips that can prevent problems in the first place. Okay, so take advantage of it, folks. Don't be shy. I know some of y'all have commented several times before, and I appreciate that. But if it's easier, depending on your situation, you might as well just schedule a call in, fill out the form. And this is definitely no obligation to hire us or anything. As of course, it'll be our pleasure to assist you from start to finish, or be stuck right in the middle or something, or at the tail end of your case, let's say you already had the interview like Wes, but then your case is stuck in that status for a year or 2 years, and you're thinking, are they still reviewing my case? Probably not. Okay, and then that makes us question, were they even reviewing it in the first place? Maybe not. So if that was the case, then you might need to consider suing the USCIS in this scenario. Hopefully that's not needed for you, Wes, but we've had some people call who have been in a scenario like that. Okay, waiting even after the interview, way too long. That's what we call unreasonable. So when it gets to that point, you really need to sue the government in that situation to get your case moving to a decision. Okay. Now, of course, the suing the government for what we call mandamus lawsuit does not mean USCIS will automatically approve your case. It's just helping to push your case along, because essentially, more or less, USCIS has forgotten about your case or misplaced your case, lost the file somehow. I know it's weird, and it's super frustrating, especially people who are abroad and they're stuck in what we call 221G or administrative processing, or shows visa refused, even though it doesn't technically mean denied all the time. Super frustrating. So we have a lot of success stories on this, and helping clients get going to get that legal status that you deserve. Okay, folks. So y'all are shy. So I'm just gonna wrap it up here, unless I see another question. But today is Tuesday. Tune in tomorrow. Okay, Wednesday. On Wednesdays we typically cover employment based. Otherwise, I'll see you on Thursday. Okay. And oh, by the way, if you have TikTok, please go ahead and follow us or me at greencardguys_John. Greatly appreciate it. I don't know anything about this algorithm thing. I have the marketing team focus on it, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. Maybe it depends on language, but I don't spend so much time on it, but I do share some tips on there as well. Just quick snippets. I think that's why people like it, not like YouTube or Instagram, Instagram Live. But yeah, 30 seconds to a minute. Just quick tips to remind y'all. So give it a follow, greencardguys_John. And if you want to get some value from our Facebook group, you can go to, or get more information, you can go to our Facebook group, and that is called tinglawclub.com. Okay, I'll take you straight there. And if you received any value from any of our videos in the past, we greatly appreciate your feedback. Or even if you've spoken with one of our CARES team members, please go to reviewtinglaw.com. We greatly appreciate your feedback. Okay, folks, thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care now.